Okay, be honest. When someone mentions mindfulness, do you immediately picture someone sitting cross-legged on a mountain, chanting Om, radiating serenity, snorting incense? And does it make you want to vomit or roll your eyes? Well, same here. It drives me crazy. I don't even like to talk about mindfulness, even though I think it's one of the most powerful mental health and just well-being tools ever. But what if I told you that it doesn't have to be cheesy and you don't have to move to a cabin in the woods or move into an ashram in order to make it work for you? Stick around because today I'm going to break down how to incorporate mindfulness into real life for real people without the eye rolls. I'm not talking about heart space. I'm not talking about chakras. I'm talking about real brain science mindfulness for busy people who don't have time for bologna meat. So today I'm going to talk about what mindfulness really is, the science behind why it works and how it changes your brain, and practical, no bologna meat ways to add mindfulness into your day without feeling like a self-help guru. Yay! Hey there, and welcome to Not Your Therapist, the No BS podcast where I ditch the therapy couch and get real about life, love, work, and all the messy in-betweens. I'm Kayla Riley, a licensed therapist and founder of a group practice that now runs without me, giving me freedom to spend more time with my littles and to share the secrets of wellness I've learned with people like you. This isn't therapy. It's your go-to for real talk, practical tips, and the occasional truth bomb to help you thrive. And the best part? No diagnosis, no insurance company constraints. I get to take off the white gloves and tell it like it is because I'm not your therapist. If you're ready to break free from unhealthy patterns, navigate the messiness of life with more ease, and uncover the magic in your everyday moments, you're in the right place. Welcome to your healing era, friends. Let's do this. So here's a little fact for you. A study from Harvard found that our minds wander 47% of the time. That means half of your life is spent on not being present. Mindfulness is about reclaiming some of that time, and who doesn't want that? We all want time. Time is the ultimate currency. First things first, mindfulness is simply the practice of bringing your attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about noticing what's happening right now, your thoughts, your feelings, your surroundings, whatever, the orange in your hand, without getting caught up in those thoughts. So mindfulness literally rewires your brain. Studies using MRI scans have shown that practicing mindfulness strengthens the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that's responsible for your decision making and your emotional regulation. It also reduces activity in the amygdala, your brain's fear center. So basically, mindfulness is helping you stay calm and make better choices. Who doesn't want more of that? Yes, please. And it's free. From a therapist perspective, there is an evidence-based approach called dialectical behavioral therapy. So therapists have these evidence-based approaches that they should be kind of teaching you and implementing. If you have a good therapist, then you should know like what you're learning and the theory of the brain and how things work and what's happening inside of you, and also getting like real strategies like worksheets and skills that you're practicing in session that you're supposed to be practicing outside of session. Anyways, I digress. If your therapist isn't doing that with you, fire them, get a new one. Thank you. Okay. I think DBT honestly is generalizable to everybody. It was developed initially for personality disorders, but DBT is just a set of skills that I think are applicable to everybody. Interpersonal effectiveness, learning how to manage distress. Personally, I think DBT should be taught in grade schools. Think about how much healthier we'd all be if we all learned basic interpersonal skills, how to validate yourself, how to manage distress, how to manage uncomfortable emotions and uncomfortable experiences, how to make decisions that are both rational and emotional. What? One of DBT's core ideas is how mindfulness can help tame our reactive mind, manage distress, and lead us into wiser, more balanced decision making. So, really leaning into that idea of rationality and emotion. I think it's awesome. Anyways, DBT explains mindfulness this way. Mindfulness is all about the what and the how. What? You're being present with your five senses, and how? Without judgment. So you can practice mindfulness anywhere, anytime. While you walk, while you eat, while you sit, while you drive, doing your dishes, showering, playing with your children. The idea is simply to be present in the moment without judging anything. So here's the kicker. Judgment can be both positive and negative. For example, if you're eating mindfully and you think, that's too much lemon, I don't like that. That's a judgmental thought. But so is, ooh, that's delicious. Also a judgmental thought. When people start to notice just how judgmental their thoughts really are, it can really feel overwhelming. We judge everything we experience. But the brilliant thing about mindfulness is that as you practice it, you become more detached from those judgments, and it makes it easier to make rational decisions while still being attuned to your emotional state. Brilliant, right? The what part of mindfulness I just talked about without judgment, right? The what part, being present, is pretty common sense. So if you're sitting there playing with your kids and you're thinking about what you're going to cook for dinner that night, you're not present. Let's bust a couple myths. Myth number 1, to be mindful, you don't have to sit down, close your eyes, and meditate. So meditating is always mindful, but mindfulness is not always meditating. Yeah? Meditation is just one form of mindfulness. Okay, another myth is that the goal is to clear your thoughts. Not true. You can't clear your mind. Your brain's job is to think. We are conscious beings. So mindfulness is about noticing your thoughts, not stopping or controlling them. And last myth buster is that anyone can practice mindfulness. Even if you don't have time to sit down and close your eyes, that's okay. You can incorporate your mindfulness practice into your life, even if you're a type A, always on the go mom like me. So there's a quote from Jon Kabat-Zinn, one of the pioneers of modern mindfulness, and he says, "You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf." That's mindfulness in a nutshell. I love that idea. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. Okay, I want to talk a bit about why mindfulness actually works. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol, which is great for emergencies, but terrible when it's constant. So mindfulness helps lower these cortisol levels by activating your parasympathetic nervous system, your body's rest and digest mode. So it's literally telling your body, everything's okay, we're safe, chill. Like the birthday party that's coming in 3 weeks should not be releasing cortisol into my body right now. So research from the American Psychological Association shows that just 10 minutes of mindfulness a day can reduce your stress, improve your focus, and even lower your blood pressure. 10 minutes a day. That's less than a coffee break. Mindfulness also improves neuroplasticity, so it's your brain's ability to adapt and grow. It refers to your brain's capacity to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout your life. This means that your brain is not like this static thing. It's constantly changing and growing in response to your learning and your experiences. Think of it like upgrading your mental software. Mindfulness is helping you strengthen the parts of your brain responsible for staying present, managing your emotions, making thoughtful decisions. So, over time, when you're practicing this over and over and over again, this can really lead to lasting improvements in focus, emotional resilience, and even creativity. Okay, now let's get to what I know you've been waiting for. How the freak can I do this without feeling like a cornball? I guess one way is like just set a timer for 1 minute, right? And you close your eyes and you focus on your breath and the sounds around you. That's it. Blech. That's the kind of thing that makes me want to bomb. Just kidding. I don't think any of you are listening to this because you want to hear, sit down, and take breaths for 60 seconds. Let's try to get to more practical ideas that you can do. One of my favorite things to prescribe to my clients is to pick an everyday activity and do it mindfully. So, for example, brushing your teeth, washing dishes, waiting in line, hitting a stoplight. So, let's take brushing your teeth, for example. You do it twice a day, hopefully, at least once a day, maybe. You're doing this once a day, so why not just go ahead and do it mindfully? And then you're helping your neural pathways be more mindful in general. Okay, so here we go. You're brushing your teeth, and I want you to engage your senses. Focus on the smell of the toothpaste, the sound of the scrubbing, the sensation of the brush along your gums, the minty taste. Or maybe it's bubblegum flavor if you're a parent and you're borrowing your kid's toothpaste, like no judgment here. When your thoughts are wandering, like you're brushing your teeth, you're smelling that mint, and all of a sudden your thoughts pop in and they say, what am I making for dinner? You're just gently going to guide your attention back to brushing. You're brushing your teeth, all of a sudden your thoughts are like, why the heck hasn't my husband put the cap back on the toothpaste in 2 days? Nope. We're bringing your attention back. The focus, the feeling of the brush against your gums. Okay, you get it. So that's the what, present mind. And now the how is non-judgmentally. So if you catch yourself judging, whether it's like, ugh, I hate this crooked tooth, or you're going to replace that with more objective thought. The front two of my teeth are turned inwards. Just note the thought without judgment and bring your focus back. So if you have a judgmental thought, what you don't want to do is be like, I'm judging. God, I suck at this. That's worse. What you want to do is bring your attention back. Bring your attention back. Bring your attention back. And remember that becoming mindful takes practice. It's like building a muscle and going to the gym. The first day you go to the gym, it might be really, really hard, right? So the first time you brush your teeth mindfully, you might have to redirect your attention 1,362 times and catch yourself correcting 723 judgments. But that's okay. Each time you bring your focus back, it's like doing a mental rep. So over time, it's going to get easier, and those reps are going to add up to something amazing and really pay off for you. Strategy 2 is progressive muscle relaxation. So progressive muscle relaxation, PMR, is one of the quintessential strategies therapists teach their clients before we start dredging into what happened to you in your childhood or talk to me about your traumatic experiences. We want to teach you ways to calm yourself so that as we expose you to uncomfortable things, we're then implementing these skills, right? So when I'm doing progressive muscle relaxation, when I'm teaching it to my clients, I like to teach it in a very physically active way. So the idea is as you inhale, you're tensing a muscle group, you're contracting a muscle group. And as you exhale, you're releasing that muscle group. So picture yourself sitting on a seat and your feet are on the floor, you're sitting up. And what you want to do is extend your leg. Pick your leg up straight so it's shooting out right in front of you. And tense your entire leg, your thigh muscle, your calf muscle. Your foot is even contracting back. And as you breathe in slowly, you're contracting that entire muscle group. Then when you exhale, slowly and controlled, you're totally releasing your foot down back to the floor. You're letting your thigh relax into the seat. That's one. Then you do the other leg, breathing in and contracting your right leg, releasing, letting it down. Your abs and your back, arch your back so that you're actually moving off the seat. Then sink into the chair and relax your abs and your back. Arms out in front of you, tense, hands contracted, release. Right? So you want to go through this all the way from your feet to your face. You're breathing in slowly and contracting really, really, really tight and releasing as you exhale. Again, this is activating your parasympathetic nervous system. It's reducing physical tension because you're actively relaxing muscle groups. It's promoting better circulation. It's preparing your body for restful sleep. Additionally, focusing on your muscles and breath grounds you in the present moment, creating a really calm mental state. I will say too that this exercise is great at night when you're going to bed because that's often a time when people are really mindless. Usually it can be the worst time for ruminating thoughts. So unless you're like my husband who passes out the second his head hits the pillow, it's like a superpower. I'm semi-angry at people who can fall asleep like this. I swear to God, he lays down and we're pillow talking and he's just asleep immediately. It's enraging. But if you're more like me and you lay down and all of a sudden your brain wants to re-examine the thing you said earlier that day that's completely irrelevant and have anxiety about it, progressive muscle relaxation would be a really good thing to practice here. Strategy 3, here's another activity that we all do all the time, eating. Next time you eat, put down your phone. Notice the colors, the textures, the flavor of your food, and gauge all your senses, the smell of your meal, the warmth of your plate, the crunch of your food. Eating without distractions can actually improve digestion and help you feel more satisfied. So eating is something we do multiple times a day, yet it's really often done mindlessly. Eating spikes dopamine in your brain, making it incredibly pleasurable, but most of us miss that because we're distracted or rushing through it, or we have our television on, or we're scrolling through our phone. So when your mind inevitably wanders to something else when you're trying this practice of eating mindfully, like tomorrow's to-do list or a stressful conversation, gently guide your attention back to the act of eating. And if you find yourself judging, whether it's this is too salty or yum, this is amazing, try to replace the judgment with an objective observation, like this tastes salty or this has a creamy texture. So over time, this practice is going to help you cultivate mindfulness and a more positive relationship with food. Strategy 4, using technology for good. Use the Force, Luke. So there are so many apps for mindfulness nowadays. I really like Headspace, but there's ones like Calm or Insight Timer, and these have guided mindfulness exercises. So this is more of like the sit down and close your eyes kind of mindfulness and meditation, but that's okay. I will say that this takes more commitment, but it can be super motivating if you find somebody to do it with, like your kids or your partner. I once had a client who started doing Headspace because we were working on being more mindful and less judgmental. And so he started doing it with his students every once in a while in class. So he is a teacher in an inpatient facility for teens. And they started this little club for students that were really vibing with the meditation. And they started meeting outside of class and meditating together. How freaking fierce is that? That's amazing. setting a reminder on your phone to pause and take a deep breath a few times a day is another really good strategy. For my clients, I always assign the stoplight homework for 1 week. So for 1 week, they have to take a big, deep, slow breath mindfully, so with attention and without judgment, at every single red light or stop sign they hit. I often ask them to just put a sticky note right on their dash that says something like, "No excuses. It's only 1 week. Get over it. You got this." Some such, sassy thing. That's my style. So if that's an easy one for you, if you find yourself driving a lot, the stop, light, deep breath homework is a really good one for you. Strategy 5, gratitude practice. So at the end of the day, oh God, this one's so cliche. Write down 3 things you're grateful for at the end of every day. We've all heard that. Ugh. This is the most annoying and commonly shared mental health strategy of all time, and it's cheeseball factory worthy. No one is going to do this or keep up with it. Maybe. And if you do, good for you, because it really does work. So don't get me wrong, I love it, but it's just been overshared. It's cliche. If you want a non-corny way to dredge up immense feelings of gratitude, close your eyes, picture someone you really love and care about. Now think about what you would want to say to them if they were gone. Poof, gone. Gone from your life. Picture yourself really telling this person what they meant to you and how they made you feel. Not convinced? Okay, here's another way. Find a story once a week in the news that makes you realize how privileged, healthy, blessed, connected, whatever that you truly are. It's not hard. The news is chock full of sad and disparaging stories that really twist your heart into a painful pretzel. But it can really highlight how grateful you really should be for so many aspects of your life. Boom, mic drop. Those were 2 really powerful gratitude practices that you can try out. Okay, so we have given you really nice 5 practical strategies to becoming more mindful in your life. One is start small, right? So the brushing your teeth mindfully or doing your dishes mindfully. Number 2 is progressive muscle relaxation, particularly right before you go to bed. 3 is mindfully eating, even if you pick one meal. Like, for example, there's no way in HE double hockey sticks that I'm going to eat breakfast mindfully because I have my kids at home. However, lunch can be one of those times because I'm typically at work. Number 4, using apps like Headspace or Calm or Insight Timer. And number 5, doing a gratitude practice. And I know mine are kind of like edging on a little depressing, but they really are powerful. Mindfulness does not have to be a big production. It's about small, intentional moments of presence throughout your day. The benefits are real. Lower stress, better focus, stronger brain, and you don't have to chant, you don't have to burn incense, unless you really want to, then go for it. So you don't need to overhaul your life to feel more present. Start small. 1 minute of mindfulness today can make a humongous difference. The more you practice, the stronger your muscles are going to become, and your tendency to be mindful will increase over time. So remember, all that mindfulness is the what, being present, and how, non-judgmentally. Try one of the mindfulness practices we talked about today, use it consistently for a week, and then tag me on social media, send me a message, send me an email, let me know how it goes for you. I have confidence that it really will be a game changer. If you've got a mindfulness tip that works for you, also share it. I'd love to hear your ideas.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for hanging out with me on Not Your Therapist. If you're ready to break free from unhealthy patterns, head over to KaylaRiley.com and grab the free Get Unstuck audio training. When you sign up, you're going to become an NYT insider with access to exclusive freebies, behind the scenes content, and my most badass gems reserved just for you. And hey, if you're loving the show, the best way to support me is by subscribing, leaving a review, and sharing it with a friend. Together, we can help more people manage life's mess, magic, and everything in between. Remember that success is only measured by how profoundly you experience your life, so don't settle for anything less than epic. I'll see you next time.